just be able to focus and take a breath and to sit in joy and peace and reflection and devotion to God. And I have heard and also experienced that the multitude of us allow our phones to set our emotional equilibrium, or our news feeds or our notifications to set our worldview. And so, as I have actively been trying to not allow that or be that person, especially first thing in the morning, I have had some good reading and some good time just to sit and be unhurried and to lay down some anxiety and some stress and some disappointment. So that's one challenge, one just little tidbit, maybe something you'd want to try to do in your life, or maybe you've gotten to be able to do that in this time of Advent, as we're just preparing and waiting. Christmas is almost here. So I thought that today would be a good day to talk about Mary and some lessons that we can learn from her. One of the people that I've been reading about in my morning times, and I think of Mary, and I think in Luke chapter 1 we hear some of her story. You know, the angel Gabriel was the one that went to her and told her that she was chosen. She was the woman that God chose to have favor on to carry his son and to birth him, Jesus, into this world. And Mary was a teenager at the time, and I think how shocking that must have been, and at the same time wonder what plans she had been making. She was already betrothed to Joseph. She was maybe planning a wedding, or, you know, fixing her invite list and figuring out where they were going to do it, and just making all those plans. And I think of this year, all the plans that we've made and then canceled and remade and canceled again, or changed, or reworked. And I think that Mary had a good understanding of what that looks like. And so as we think about the plans that we've changed and canceled and remade and are waiting for, I just think that this girl has a lot that we can look at. She surely one of the plans that she was in the middle of thinking did not include giving birth to the Son of God. And yet she was chosen. And as we've all had times when our plans didn't work out, perhaps, I don't know where you're at in your situation, but perhaps having a wedding is one of them. Perhaps still being married was a plan that you thought. Perhaps a career that was flourishing, or relational situations with family members and being close and getting to spend time, and all those things. We just probably thought that we'd be doing something else, be someone else, be with someone else, but God had other plans, just like Mary. I thought about this, and I think my mistake is that when I want to compare my plan with God's plan, maybe you do this, that I want to sit it side by side and weigh the pros and cons. And I've really, as I've looked at Mary and her response to this change of her plans, I feel like my best response, maybe your best response, will always be the same as Mary's was when the angel crashed her wedding plans, which in Luke chapter 138, she just said, "Let it be to me according to your word." Let it be to me according to your word. The Message version words it like this: "Let it be with me just as you say." Let it be with me just as you say was Mary's response to this huge change of her entire life plan. And that just spoke to me, because I like to think that I have things planned out. And I just really want to be the person that leaves room in my plans for God's providence. May you and I just be the people that leave room in our plans for God's providence. 3 other lessons really quick that we can learn from Mary. Because remember, she had these plans changed, she responded by saying, "Let it be with me just as you say." And she had that important task of giving birth to, loving, and nurturing Jesus. And here's 3 things just that stand out to me as crucial for living a healthy life. And Mary can be our role model in this. First, she humbly believed God. Even in the face of an outrageous promise that she would conceive a child while still a virgin, she humbly believed God. Second, as she watched Jesus grow from a boy into a man, she treasured special moments in her heart. She treasured special moments in her heart of those years and watching him grow. And third, when things happened that she didn't understand, she let them go into God's will. She let them go. I think how much I stumble in all 3 of these areas every day. God has offered us many promises in the Bible, yet I sometimes find it so difficult to believe that he means what he says. He means what he says, and his word is always truth. Or when something good happens in my life, rather than treasure and celebrate it, I tend to dismiss it with negative self-talk. Or when life throws me a curveball, I tend to blame others or blame God and ask, why me? Instead of just going with the flow and trusting God's good purposes. And I look to Mary in that third thing that when she didn't understand, she let them go and into God's will. Mary's simple, open acceptance of God's will serves as a model for me, for you, for all of us who think that we can control our lives. Her willingness to let go and entrust the growth of her son to God provides an example for all of us, no matter where we're at. God is in charge. He wants good things for his children, and that includes us, you and me. He wants good things for all of us. May we be the people who say, "Let it be with me, just as you say," just like Mary. God, I just pray that you would give my friends the openness to accept your will, the courage to let go of the things I don't understand, the peace and the joy that comes from spending time with you. I just love you a lot. In Jesus' name, I pray. Thanks, friends. Merry Christmas.